Okay, so get this right. We're going deep on crypto today, but with a twist.
Mm.
A twist.
Yeah, you remember when Donald Trump called Bitcoin a scam?
Oh, yeah, who could forget?
Well, now it seems like the tables have turned big time. We've got all these articles here, and they all say the same thing.
And what's that?
Trump, it seems, has become a full-blown crypto enthusiast.
That is a pretty fascinating shift. I mean, a complete 180 from what he was saying just a few years ago.
It's wild, right?
Yeah, I mean, this FX Street piece, for example, it really lays out his whole journey from skeptic to supporter.
It's like a political thriller or something.
Yeah.
1 minute he's bashing Bitcoin, and then bam, he's all about it, talking about its potential, appointing, crypto advocates to like important positions.
Well, yeah, something definitely changed.
So, okay, let's try to unpack all this. Back in 2021, Trump was very publicly against Bitcoin, right?
Right.
He called it a scam. He said it was dangerous, like the whole 9 yards, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was the main issue? What were his concerns back then?
Well, at the time, his biggest worry was the potential threat to, the U.S. dollar,
Right.
to its dominance in the global market.
Right.
He saw Bitcoin and really crypto in general as this destabilizing force.
Makes sense.
Yeah, this was, and honestly still is, a common concern among those, traditional financial institutions.
Yeah.
They see these decentralized currencies as a challenge to the systems that, that they're used to.
Yeah, if you're used to being the one in control, then someone new coming in can be a little unnerving. But, then something changed during his campaign, and now, as president-elect, it's all about fostering crypto adoption and talking about favorable regulations. It's like a whole new script.
It is, yeah. And this FX Street article we were talking about, well, it points to one very specific action that kind of demonstrates this shift.
Okay.
The appointment of Paul Atkins to replace Gary Gensler as SEC chairman.
Okay, so for those of us who don't spend all our time thinking about financial regulations, why is this appointment so significant?
Well, because it's not just a name change.
Okay.
It's a major shift in the regulatory landscape.
Okay, so what does the SEC chairman actually do?
Okay, so the SEC, or the Securities and Exchange Commission, they're basically the watchdog of the U.S. financial markets. They set the rules,
Yeah.
They enforce those rules, and they have a huge influence on how different industries operate. Now, the chairman of the SEC, well, they have immense power. I mean, they set the agenda for the entire organization.
Sure.
So Gary Gensler, the previous chairman, well, he had a reputation for being, let's just say, less than enthusiastic about crypto.
Oh, okay.
He was cautious, skeptical, and a lot of people in the crypto world, they saw him as a roadblock to progress.
Okay, so then enter Paul Atkins.
Yeah.
And he's known for being pro-crypto.
Right.
So what does that mean in practice? What could actually change?
Well, for one thing, Atkins has criticized the SEC's previous approach to classifying cryptocurrencies. This whole debate about whether certain digital assets are securities and should be subject to all those stricter regulations. Well, that's been a major headache for the industry.
Oh, right.
Atkins seems to favor a more nuanced approach.
Okay.
He acknowledges that not all cryptocurrencies are created equal. You can't treat Bitcoin, which has, this established history and decentralized nature, the same way you treat some new token that just popped up yesterday.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So is this appointment basically a green light for crypto in the U.S.? Is it party time for Bitcoin and all its crypto friends?
Well, it's definitely a positive sign. A more crypto-friendly SEC could mean clearer regulations, faster approvals for new projects, and just a generally more welcoming environment for businesses and investors. And the market seems to agree.
You're telling me Bitcoin hitting new milestones wasn't just a coincidence, was it?
No, not at all. I mean, we saw Bitcoin prices surge to new all-time highs, like breaking the $70,000 mark, and other cryptocurrencies followed suit. This surge in value indicates renewed investor confidence, and it's directly correlated with Trump's pro-crypto actions and, the appointment of Atkins.
Okay, so we've got Trump doing this complete 180 on crypto, a pro-crypto leader at the SEC, and the market is responding with a collective woohoo. It's like a love fest, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, seemed to think so. You remember that 60 Minutes interview where he said Donald Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Donald Trump?
Yeah, that was a pretty loaded statement.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? What does that tell us about the relationship between the Trump administration and the crypto world? And like, what does embraced even mean in this context?
I think embraced signifies a mutual recognition of benefit. On the one hand, you've got Trump, who may see crypto as a tool, for economic growth, for technological advancement, and maybe even challenging the dominance of those traditional financial institutions we were talking about earlier. And on the other hand, you've got the crypto world. They've been seeking legitimacy for a long time, seeking regulatory clarity. And Trump's support, especially from someone who is, a vocal critic, is a huge win for the industry. It's a validation of their vision and a sign that they're finally being taken seriously.
Right. It's like when your parents finally acknowledge that your band isn't just a bunch of noise in the garage. They finally see the potential. It's a game changer.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. And that newfound acceptance is crucial for wider adoption. I mean, if people don't trust or understand something, they're not going to use it.
Okay, so it seems like everyone's happy. Trump gets to champion this cutting-edge technology.
Yeah.
The crypto world, well, they get legitimacy and a friend in a very high place. And the market is booming. So is this like a happily ever after? Or is there something we're missing?
Well, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, we've seen the what here, right? Trump's changed stance, the market's reaction, the regulatory shifts. But the why, well, that's where things get really interesting. What's driving this sudden love affair with crypto? Is it a genuine belief in the technology, a calculated political move, or maybe something else entirely? That's what we need to dive into next.
All right, folks, buckle up. We've laid the groundwork, we've explored the players, and we've witnessed those initial sparks. Now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty, the behind the scenes, the real story behind this crypto romance. Stay tuned, because things are about to get juicy. All right, so we know Trump has done a complete U-turn on crypto, but the big question still remains, why? Like, what's the reason for this change of heart?
Well, yeah, it's a puzzle, isn't it?
It is. Is it like a true conversion, to the power of blockchain? Is it just some savvy political move, or is it maybe something even more complex?
I don't think there's a simple answer. I think it's probably a combination of a few things. Remember, the world's changed a lot since Trump first dismissed Bitcoin back in 2021. Like, the geopolitical landscape is different, technology has advanced, and the crypto industry, well, it's definitely matured.
Okay, so let's break it down. Like, what are the key factors, would you say, the ones that might be influencing Trump's his new stance on crypto?
I think one major factor is the rise of China.
Oh, okay.
They've been very aggressively developing their own central bank digital currency, the digital yuan.
Right.
And they've been making big strides in blockchain technology in general. This has really put pressure on the U.S.,
Yeah.
to maintain its leadership in the global financial system.
Right. It's like a digital arms race or something.
Oh, exactly. Nobody wants to be left behind when it comes to, the future of money. And the Trump administration, well, they might have recognized that embracing crypto, or at least creating a more favorable regulatory environment for crypto, could be a way to counter China's growing influence.
So geopolitics plays a role.
Right.
Okay. What else?
Well, we also can't forget the economic potential here.
Right.
I mean, crypto and blockchain technology, they represent a huge opportunity for innovation and growth. Think about all the potential new businesses, the job creation, and all the investment opportunities.
Yeah, it's not just about Bitcoin going up or down. Right?
Wow, exactly.
It's about the technology itself,
Yeah.
and its ability to really revolutionize industries. We're talking about everything from supply chain management to healthcare to like even voting systems.
Yeah, and the U.S. has always been a leader in technological innovation.
Right.
So embracing crypto could be seen as a way to maintain that edge and tap into a sector of the global economy that is growing really, really fast.
Okay, so we've got geopolitics, we've got economics. What about like the domestic political side of things? Did Trump see an opportunity to score some points with voters by embracing crypto?
That's definitely a possibility. Remember, Trump's base, especially younger generations, are very interested in crypto. So by aligning himself with this technology, he could really tap into that enthusiasm and solidify his support among those voters.
Yeah, it's like that cool uncle, the one who suddenly starts talking about Bitcoin at Thanksgiving dinner, and everyone's like, "Whoa, Uncle Joe is he's hip to the latest trends."
Exactly. It creates a connection, a sense of relevance, especially in a world where technology is changing so fast.
Okay, so it seems like there are a lot of layers to this whole story. It's not just like a simple flip of a switch. It's more complex than that.
Yeah, it's this complex interplay of global competition, economic opportunity,
Hmm.
and even, domestic political strategy. And we should also mention the role of the crypto industry itself.
Okay.
They've been actively lobbying for regulatory clarity.
Right.
They've been engaging with policymakers. They're not just sitting back and waiting.
Yeah, they're shaping the narrative, right?
Yeah.
And they're pushing for a better environment for crypto to flourish. And this is where I think Brad Garlinghouse's perspective is really valuable.
Yeah.
He's not just some observer. He's a leader in the crypto world.
He is.
And his company, Ripple, well, they have a lot at stake here.
They do.
You mentioned earlier that this word, this embraced, suggests a mutual benefit, right?
Right.
So what exactly did the crypto world gain from Trump's change of heart?
Well, for one thing, they gained a sense of legitimacy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
having a president who was once, skeptical and now he's championing the industry, that's a huge PR boost.
Yeah.
It helps normalize crypto in the eyes of, the general public.
Right.
And that can help attract more mainstream investors.
Yeah, it's like that moment when your favorite indie band finally gets signed to a major label.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Suddenly everyone's paying attention.
Exactly. And beyond just the PR, there's the potential for actual concrete policy changes. We
Right.
talked about Paul Atkins' appointment to the SEC, but there could be other moves. Things like tax breaks for crypto businesses, streamline regulations for new projects, maybe even government investment in blockchain research and development.
So it's not just like talk. It's
Mhm.
about actual action.
Exactly.
And the crypto world is excited about the possibilities.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that excitement, it's translating into real world results. We've seen this surge in investment, new companies being created all over the place, and this growing sense that crypto is, it's here to stay.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like a gold rush. But instead of digging for gold, everyone's mining for Bitcoin and building the next big blockchain application.
It really is. It's an incredibly dynamic, exciting time to be involved in this space. And while there are definitely challenges and uncertainties, the future looks very promising.
So we've gone from Trump calling Bitcoin a scam to this like full-on crypto love fest.
Yeah.
We've looked at the geopolitical factors, the economic opportunities, the political motivations, and we've gotten the perspective of the industry. But I got to ask, is this all just hype? Is there a chance this whole crypto bubble could burst?
That's a good question. That's a question that's on everyone's mind.
It is.
And while I am bullish on the long-term potential of crypto and blockchain technology, it's important to be realistic. There are risks here. We've already seen how volatile the market can be. There's the potential for regulatory crackdowns. And honestly, there are still a lot of unknowns about how this technology is going to evolve.
So it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, I mean, there are some clouds on the horizon.
There are.
But I think that's part of what makes this space so fascinating. It's unpredictable, it's constantly evolving, and it really has the potential to disrupt entire industries.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. We've explored the why behind Trump's, his crypto conversion. We've gone into the potential benefits and risks, and we've even gotten a glimpse into the future of this crazy industry. But there's one element we haven't talked about yet: regulation. Like, what are the actual policies that are being proposed, and how could they shape the future of crypto in the U.S.?
That is a crucial question, and that's where things get really, really interesting.
Okay.
Because even with a pro-crypto president and a seemingly more favorable SEC, the regulatory landscape, it's still very complex and it's evolving. There are these debates going on about about taxation, security regulations, consumer protection, and even the basic definition of what a cryptocurrency is.
Yeah, it sounds like we're about to dive into the weeds of government bureaucracy here.
Haha, don't worry. I'll be your guide. And trust me, it's not as dry as it sounds, because the decisions that are being made right now, they're going to have a huge impact on the future of crypto, not just in the U.S. but all around the world.
All right, so we've talked about Trump's, his whole crypto conversion,
Right.
and some of the possible motives behind it.
Yeah.
We even went into the crazy world of crypto regulation.
It is a bit of a wild world out there.
It is, but now let's get down to down to the actual regulations.
Okay.
Because even with a president who's on board with this whole thing,
Right.
and a seemingly friendlier SEC, there's still a lot of uncertainty about how the government's going to handle this whole crypto thing.
You're absolutely right. The regulatory landscape is still very much a work in progress.
Okay.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
You want to encourage innovation and foster growth in this new industry, but at the same time, you got to protect consumers, you got to prevent fraud, and you got to ensure the stability of the financial system.
Right. It's a tough job.
It's not easy.
It's not. So what are like some of the key regulatory challenges facing the crypto world right now? Now there's been a lot of back and forth about things like taxation,
Yes.
security laws,
Right.
and even just like defining what a cryptocurrency actually is.
You're exactly right. I think one of the biggest hurdles has been this lack of clear guidelines from regulatory bodies like the SEC.
Right.
And that uncertainty makes it hard for businesses to operate, confidently.
Right.
And it can scare away investors who are worried about potential, legal issues.
Yeah, and this is where the appointment of Paul Atkins to the SEC comes in, right?
Right.
He's supposed to be the crypto-friendly guy who's going to come in and clear up all this confusion.
That's the hope. I mean, Atkins has been critical of the SEC's previous approach to crypto regulation.
Right.
He's argued that it stifled innovation and created these unnecessary barriers.
Right.
He seems to favor a more flexible case-by-case approach,
Okay.
recognizing that, not all cryptocurrencies are the same.
Yeah, you can't just lump Bitcoin in with like some meme coin that was launched last week.
Exactly. You gotta treat them differently.
Yeah.
And, this could provide some much-needed clarity for businesses and investors.
Okay, so less of a one-size-fits-all approach,
Right.
and more of a tailor-made suit for the crypto world.
Exactly. And that could be really helpful for everybody involved.
Okay, so what about taxation? I mean, that's always a fun topic, right?
Yeah. Taxes, everybody loves taxes.
But seriously, if the government wants people to really take crypto seriously, then they need to lay out some clear rules about how it's taxed.
I agree. I mean, clear guidelines on taxation would go a long way towards legitimizing the industry.
Yeah.
And encouraging wider adoption.
Right, and this isn't just about the U.S.,
Yeah.
right?
No, not at all.
What happens here, it could have a ripple effect,
It could.
influencing how other countries approach crypto regulation.
Definitely.
So the stakes are pretty high.
They are.
It's not just about, the future of Bitcoin. It's about shaping the future of finance on a global scale.
Exactly.
No pressure, Mr. Atkins.
Right. But yeah, it's a pivotal moment for sure. And while there's a lot of optimism surrounding Trump's pro-crypto stance and Atkins' appointment,
Right.
it's important to remember that there are going to be challenges along the way.
Okay, like what are some of the roadblocks we might see?
Well, for one thing, there's likely to be pushback from traditional financial institutions.
Right.
They see crypto as a threat to their existing power, to their profits.
Yeah.
They're not just going to give up without a fight,
Right. The old guard doesn't usually like it when the new kids come to town.
Exactly. And then there's the issue of consumer protection.
Right.
We've already seen cases of fraud and scams in the crypto world.
We have.
And as the industry grows, these problems, they could become even more common.
Yeah.
Regulators will need to find ways to protect consumers, but without stifling innovation.
Right. So it's this delicate balancing act.
It is.
How do you encourage growth, but also prevent abuse? How do you foster innovation while also making sure things are stable?
Yeah, it's a tough question.
It is a tough question.
And it's not going to be easy to figure out.
No, it's not. Okay, so to kind of wrap things up here, we started with Trump's surprising shift, from crypto critic to crypto champion.
Right.
We explored the potential reasons behind that change, and then we dove into the complex world of crypto regulation.
It's been a wild ride.
It has. It really has.
And we've gained some valuable insights, but I think it's safe to say that this is really just the beginning of the story.
Right.
The crypto world is always evolving.
It is.
And the implications of these developments, well, they're going to continue to unfold for years to come.
So the big question is, will Trump's pro-crypto stance and these potential regulatory changes, will they lead to a lasting change in the financial landscape?
That's a good question. On that, time will tell.
Yeah.
But one thing is certain: the future of finance is it's going to be very interesting.
It is.
And if you want to stay ahead of the curve, well, you better keep your eye on the crypto world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of crypto.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.